Okay, well, we can start because I don't care who's here. Whoever's here is here.
We already
Okay.
have 66 people.
Wow, that's beautiful. All right, so we'll see. And I have no idea to tell if anybody's even watching me on live or if I'm even live on YouTube, but it sure looks like it. And it's a shame that I have to look at my face twice. Okay, first I want to thank you guys for showing up. And I want to thank you for your patience. We're going to need a tremendous amount of patience from you guys through this whole period because we get information sporadically and it varies from moment to moment. So we're doing the best we can. This meeting should be strictly Early College Academy parents and families and students, and because we're mostly going to talk about Early College Academy. At 6:30, we're going to have another one of these meetings for CEC, and we'll cover a little bit slightly different information. We're going to throw a lot at you right now. We're going to share a lot. We had a great start to our year with a staff meeting today, and we covered a lot of information. It was actually overwhelming. So let's start, and let us start with one of the biggest questions we've had, which is about the registration. All right. To respect everybody's desires during this coronavirus situation, we're going to do a drive-through registration with some caveats. On August 10th and 11th, which is next Monday and Tuesday, we are going to have a drive-through registration from 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. And we are not going to have it in any particular order. So whatever time you can come between 9 and 2, we will accept you in our bus lane, and we will just have a line if there's that many people. For anybody that's on this that works between 9 and 2 and can't make it or is worried about it, I'm here every morning at 5:30. I will take you from 5:30 till 9, but you will probably have to come in the building because I will, or you'll have to call me to get in the building. But we can gladly make that happen. So if you start work at 7 and you want to come at 6, come on by. I'll be here, and then we can get you your information. In terms of the drive-through registration, we are going to have a bag of, I think it's cool to call it a goodie bag for the students, and textbooks also. And for any students that need a device, we are going to have a device for you to check out. That's one of the caveats. You have got to fill out some paperwork and sign it so that we can assure that we're going to get that device back, and because we want these back. Eventually, every student is going to have a Chromebook, but right now we don't have enough. So if you have a device at home or if you have your own laptop, please continue to use that until we can check you out a Chromebook. So we really only want people to check out a Chromebook right now that need one as a device. And I got to tell you, I would rather you have a Chromebook than your phone, because there's a lot of work to be done here, and you're not going to get it done on your phone. And I'm talking, that's to the student. Okay. Let's see. So, and then we're going to try to snap a photo. So if you bring your student with you, we will snap a photo with a phone or somehow, just so we can have a photo to match that student, and then we'll go from there. It's not going to be the same as an ID photo, and eventually they'll have to get IDs when we go to yellow and they can come to classes.
A really good question. Do you mind if I interject?
Please, always.
Okay, so I saw that there was a question in the chat room. We'll do our best to answer those. Last time we had it, we just couldn't keep up. So if we're able to answer those, for sure we will. And if we have time, you can raise your hand and maybe take questions. Sue Estelle is our assistant regarding that. But with registration, if you did online registration is one part. And then coming to the drive-through registration is the second part. And the reason for that, so the online is helping us make sure all your contact information and things are current, any documents. The drive-through is specific to gather your textbooks, the students, to gather their textbooks and Chromebooks if they need one. We definitely don't want phones. And we're also put some fun stuff in there. Miss Rowe, our activities director, some links for them to log in and get connected ahead of time. If for some reason you're not able to make it, we've already had a parent kind of reporting that their situation, they're not able to come. We can please email us or reach out to us and we can arrange to get that to you. That's all.
Thank you. Perfect. That's beautiful. So I think what we're going to do right now is just briefly talk about ECA and show you what the schedule will look like once after the first 4 days. On the 12th, 13th, and 14th, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and on Monday the 17th, those 4 days are going to, well, actually, I'm sorry, on the 12th, 13th, and 14th, those days are going to look a lot different than the rest of the time, but we're going to get kids acquainted. We're going to talk with them. We're going to do some virtual parent meetings and like virtual home visits. We're going to be doing some stuff like that. So, so it's going to be a little bit different, not a ton different, but a little bit different. And then on the 17th, we're going to start with basically what our schedule will look like. Mondays will not be classes. Mondays will be times for us to meet with students. We're going to have advisory every Monday, and we're going to have some other things going on. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will have classes. They will have to sign in. They will get their work. There'll be some asynchronous and synchronous learning, and I'll explain that in a second. And so that's going to look more like the natural schedule. And what will happen eventually when we are able to go back to face-to-face part of the time, that'll be the schedule that we'll be following, so they won't miss a beat. Ms. Estelle, can you I emailed you the ECA bell schedule, and I'm assuming that you can share. So Ms. Estelle is going to share her screen with us. And for you guys on YouTube, sorry, I don't know how to share that, so that's not going to happen, but you can kind of listen.
Okay.
While she's getting that up, I'm just going to answer a few questions, boss, that I see.
Go
Can
ahead.
students drive themselves through the drive-through? I don't see why not.
I don't either.
Okay, so yes, students could drive themselves to pick that up. It would be great if they had a mask on. We'll all be wearing masks and doing our best. And then another question is, anything to sign during our registration process?
The only thing they would need to sign would be if they were going to check out a Chromebook device, and so they would have to sign for that. But they don't have to necessarily pick that up that day. But somebody needs to sign for it, and I don't think the student is enough.
Okay, and that drive-through registration will be August 10th and 11th, and Mr. Arguelles will be sending out a more detailed schedule regarding those 2 days. We'll probably
Absolutely.
or something.
Absolutely. And guys, sorry that we're going to piecemeal a lot of things because we just don't have enough information right now. But so Ms. Estelle is sharing the ECA schedule. On the right side of it is the CEC schedule. We're not going to worry about that.
I
So-
didn't know which tab you needed in this file, Pat.
You actually picked the perfect one.
Okay.
So thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. So in looking at this schedule, you will see Monday, there's some things on there. So let's just take a quick peek at Monday. The biggest, most important piece of Monday is that 10 to 11 o'clock advisory period. We have asked many of our CEC teachers to participate in advisory this year. So our advisory classes are smaller. So each teacher will have anywhere from 5 to 11 kids in their advisory class. They're going to be all same grade level. So ninth graders will be with other ninth graders, 10th graders will be with other 10th graders. And we want those students to have a staff member who they can go to for any question, anytime, anywhere. Parents also. And that staff member will get that question answered and will work with the students to get whatever they need. They'll also do some interesting and fun things during that advisory period. And we're excited about it. The other periods, the other blocks of time that are there, for right now, they do have some things in there, but mostly those are going to be about some office hours, parents and students being able to connect with teachers, some tutoring opportunities. We'll schedule IEPs on Monday. We'll have support services for kids with the counselor, with the dean, with the assistant principal. We'll have opportunities for students to be one-on-one with teachers, to get tutoring as necessary. And we're also going to have club and group organization meetings, like student government, like Survive and Thrive, like Key Club. These will be virtual meetings, and that part is kind of exciting. Those time blocks may not necessarily be the exact ones that we use, but we're trying to give you a general idea. Then let's move over to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The beautiful part of Early College Academy is that we go to school every single day. We are going to expect students to check in every day for attendance purposes, but we are leaving it up to our teachers. Our teachers are amazing. They're amazing professionals, and we want them to create a class that works with what they're trying to teach, and everybody teaches a little bit differently. So we're going to leave it to their professionalism to determine how they're going to teach it and what they're going to offer first. Is it going to be virtual in the beginning, and then kids can work in groups on like a project-based learning type atmosphere, or is it going to be assignments, or is it going to be research? There's a lot of variety there, and I can't even put a finger on any of it because each class is going to be different, so that's kind of the exciting part. But I might as well at this point kind of talk a little bit about the difference between asynchronous learning and synchronous learning, and I will tell you, I proudly have 9 grandchildren. 6 of them are going to be in school this year. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to test my children. And I asked them, and they had no clue what asynchronous or synchronous meant. And, they're college educated. So that made me feel much better, because for a while I didn't know either. So let me just kind of define it a little bit. There's going to be 2 types of learning going on in ECA and CEC. Asynchronous learning and synchronous learning. Synchronous learning is it's online, but it's based on, so it's distance ed, but it's online and it's happening in real time. So if you're doing synchronous learning at 7:30, that means at 7:30 you're checked in to the Google Meet or to the Canvas platform or whatever you're at, and you're learning that way. Asynchronous learning occurs online, and it isn't real time. It is somewhere where they can go in and check, grab some material, get an assignment, see some reading, click on. They can do it at midnight. They can do it at 7, however that works. So synchronous learning happens in real time. And the cool part of that is that you're with your classmates, you're with your instructor, you're interacting in a virtual space, like a Google Meet room, like we did in the spring. And I think all of our teachers are using Google Meet. And it's a really good way. You can do some video conferencing, you can do teleconferencing, live chatting. There's a lot of things like that. So some of the advantages of synchronous learning is classroom engagement. You're there with your class. You have 20 students, 25 students, 12 students, whatever class whatever size your class is, and you're engaging actively with your teacher and other students. The learning can be dynamic. It's pretty cool. And there's also an opportunity for teachers to have some instructional depth in that classroom. So some of the disadvantages are, and these are important, it's a rigid schedule, so it's kind of locked in stone. You got to be there at 7:30. You got to be there at 8:30. You got to be there at 9:30. And it doesn't take into account technical difficulties, which can be getting logged in, having the internet, connectivity, those issues. And that's a separate issue. So asynchronous learning kind of happens on your own schedule. You get to decide when you're going to learn. And we will have a little bit of that throughout the time. It's kind of a little bit how eAcademy works. You go sign into the class and you pick up your assignments and you work on them. Asynchronous learning is flexible. It allows for you to do your own pacing. If you're watching a video and you don't understand, you can go backwards. We were just talking about that today with anatomy and physiology. Some of those videos are a little bit intense. You can pause it, you can rewind it basically, and review it again. So it allows you to do pacing at your own, well, it allows you to do learning at your own pace. Asynchronous learning is also, there's an affordability factor to that, but we don't have to talk about that. A disadvantage of asynchronous learning is isolation, okay? You're kind of working alone. You don't get to interact with your classmates. There's no social element to asynchronous learning. You are alone. And so with that self-guided environment comes, sounds cool, but there's a little bit of risk of apathy and just, you know what, I'll get to it when I get to it. You know how New Mexico is, land of mañana. You know, and so that part we don't really like about it. So the reason that we're going to touch base on asynchronous and synchronous learning is because when you're looking at the schedule, we have 45-minute blocks for pretty much every period. We have a little bit longer block for periods 5 and 6, which is mostly freshmen. But I don't want a teacher to take that 45-minute block and set up their Google Meet and make kids endure them for 45 minutes. You guys are going to hate me at the end of this hour. So can you imagine 45 minutes with a teacher for 4 days in a row? It would be agony. And then multiply that by 4 or 5 or 6. It would be intense agony. We want teachers to go in and maybe have a Google Meet and meet for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 10 minutes. Start the class going and really figure out what they need to do in that period of time. And then they kind of go asynchronous. They can work on at their own pace. Maybe the teacher moves them into groups and they can have group discussions. Every class is going to look a little bit different. And I don't even want to begin to explore that possibility because really, literally, every class will be different. So we want to limit the amount of face-to-face that they have with the teacher for the most part, okay? Some days may be totally asynchronous. A student might check in the morning. Let's say they check into their period 2 class at 8:30. They sign in. Teacher says, hey, you're on your own. They go to the website or they go to the Google Doc or they go to whatever the teacher has. They pick up their assignment and they can do it anytime they want. They don't have to do it then. They can do it at night. They can do it at lunch. They can do it in the morning before the next class. They just have to do it before the assignment is due. And so we're going to try to guide our students in the proper way to do online learning, and we're going to use a combination of synchronous and asynchronous learning. And we think that the outcome for this will be that we will produce a student capable of handling their own schedule and doing the assignments they need to do.
Just 2 things I wanted to touch upon, Mr. Arguelles, if you don't mind. I know that the next hour we're going to be talking about CEC, and it's going to be focused to those families. But looking at the schedule now, did you want to touch upon CEC would then take place? I know there's a little overlap, or if you don't want to go there right now.
No, that's great. That's awesome.
Okay.
So let's.
so that they don't have to come back at 6:30 if they don't want to.
Perfect. So,
You're welcome to.
you know, eventually almost every student is taking CEC or dual credit classes through CEC. And so it's important that they understand that, especially for you families that have sophomores, juniors, or seniors. If you look at that schedule, it's pretty darn close to where we were at last year or just in the past period. Okay, so CEC will only be in operation on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if you had a session 1 class, you would have normally had a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday class. Now you're only going to have Tuesday, Thursday. Same thing with session 2. Instead of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's Tuesday through Friday. And then in session 3, if you had a Monday, Wednesday class, you now have a Wednesday, Friday class. And we made those same changes for the dual credit classes that we have. So, for example, EMT will be a Tuesday, Thursday morning class. EMT will be a Tuesday through Thursday class in session 2. And you can see the delineation marked off by session 1A, session 1C, session 2, and session 3.
I just thought it was good to give it just a glance, boss.
No, I agree. And so your schedule on, when you go to Synergy and you pull up your schedule, you'll see the CEC classes or dual credit classes you have, and you'll know what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go. Our expectation is that CEC teachers will teach exactly like ECA teachers are going to teach. Some assignments they'll check in, but some assignments will be asynchronous, and they can go pull it up and learn at their convenience. I'll give you an example. Cosmetology in the spring had a great deal of asynchronous learning. They were able to go watch a video that the teachers created, and then pick up a kit here at school. They would have it at home, and then they would look for a victim, typically a sister or a mom. And they would work on their hair, or they would do a facial, or they would do something following the video. Sometimes they would videotape it and submit it for grading. Sometimes it would just be practice. But it was totally asynchronous because they have to work around the schedule of people that they can work on. We have similar situation with AP Calculus BC. They can go get their assignment. He has a lot of recorded items. They just have a lot of opportunities to review work. And I think the key is they can review the work, they can review the video, they can keep going back and forth to make sure that they understand it. And many of our teachers are going to work that way. And so it's pretty exciting. And yes, we do take volunteers for those facials. No, I'm just kidding. Unless you want to go to somebody's house that you may not know, I don't know that I would advise it right now. Go ahead, Ms. Florence.
In our notes, I did not put anything about advisory, and so I just wanted to touch upon that really quick. Is that okay?
Sure, go for it.
So, and this is for the ECA parents out here. We are going to have advisory. It will take place every Monday. Am I right on that? Yes, every Monday. We have a new
From 10 to 11.
Yes, and so during that time, that's kind of like their homeroom. That's their go-to teacher. They're really going to be taking care of the social emotional learning. That's a big buzzword in education now, is SEL, social emotional learning. And so we called on some CEC teachers to help so that we could lower those numbers down. So they should be really nice, hopefully very small groups that your student can check in with. And we're hoping that first week, they'll be meeting with them frequently so that they can make sure that they know where to go and navigate this schedule, and making sure they can find their teachers and the location. So I just kind of wanted to put that in there as well, that advisory, we used to do it like, twice a month, but now it's going to be once a week, every Monday from 10 to 11.
Thank you. And I do want to tell you, we're really excited about advisory class, and we're really excited about trying to meet the socio-emotional needs of our students, because it's going to be really important. And in that vein, I want every parent and every student to know that they can reach out to Ms. Florience, to Ms. Ramsey, or to Ms. Lopez. Ms. Florience is our assistant principal, Ms. Ramsey is our counselor, and Ms. Lopez is our dean of students. They can reach out to me, but and I would love to have them, but most kids don't. They only come to me when they need to get yelled at. So I'm okay with that too. I'm really good at it. So we can, but whatever, they can come to me and I will help them in any manner. But one way or the other, we will support your student. We will support you also. You can reach out to us and we can have conversations. But we're going to do a lot of work on socio-emotional learning through the advisory class, and we're very excited about it. Okay. So Ms. Estelle, I think at this time I'd like to talk for a moment about the staff directory. Okay, so I think I might leave that up to you, but let me just preface that with, we want every parent and every student to know that they're gonna be able to go to our website and pull up a staff directory And so they can look at their, if they don't know who their teacher is, if they don't know what's going on in their class, they can go to their schedule and they can say, oh, I've got Algebra 1 first period. And they can go and they can find that class and that teacher, and there will be a link to that meeting place for them to go to. We're going to try to make this as easy and transparent as possible. Now, we don't necessarily want parents photobombing students in their Algebra 1 class. I don't even know if the teacher would let them in, but we want you to help your students if they struggle with that, and they need to reach out. And that's why we're going to spend a lot of time on the 12th, 13th, and 14th preparing our kids to be able to access their classrooms and their Google Meets or their Zoom rooms. Sue, go ahead.
Yes. So I'm going to hang on one second. I'm going to share this screen.
Guys on YouTube, sorry that you don't get to see this also. We're going to figure this one out though.
So on the school webpage, we have a tab at the top called Contact Us, and it's the same on every webpage in the district. And under it, we have various listings, one of which is for teachers. We also have a tab for remote, what they call a badge for remote learning that's underneath the banner of pictures. And that also has a link to our teachers. And basically what that takes you to right now is the kind of a minimalist directory listing of our teachers that the webpage template provides. But we're going to be substituting this with a more sophisticated directory that will enable you to click on a link and reach the web page for every teacher that will have information on how to contact them, when their office hours are, if they have documents they want to post for parents to take a look at, like a program summary or a book list or anything like that. So that's gonna be our goal. We're hoping to have that up and running over the weekend. We're asking all of our teachers to create simple web pages if they don't already have one, so that we can get them all linked. And that will be a go-to point for students and parents to go to.
And so in addition to that, in their bags when they pick up their books on Monday or their whatever they're picking up, we'll have some additional information to help them sort through that. But this part is going to be pretty exciting because every parent and every student can go to our website and get to their student's class. There will be no excuses, and we're not taking any for students who say they can't get to their class. We will help with every aspect, connectivity, we're getting the internet support, all of that. We'll give you a device. We'll do everything we can to help you get connected. This is going to be a no excuse year. Students are going to be graded. They're going to be, there's going to be attendance. And if they don't show up to class, guess what? There's going to be attendance contracts. And because we are a school of choice, they don't show up enough. Maybe they have to disenroll from our school and go to a comprehensive high school. That's not anything we want to talk about or even do, but it's a possibility. We want students to attend, and we're making it easy for them to do that. We want parents to be able to get into Synergy, check attendance, check grades, check whatever they need to. And we want parents to be able to communicate with teachers and with administration easily. Now, you guys all know you can just call me on my cell phone anytime you want. And for the most part, I try to answer. I get a lot of phone calls lately, but I try to answer or get back. And so we want it to be open communication, period, with all of our ECA students. Well, and with all of our CEC students too, but especially our ECA students. Ms. Ramsey, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that a lot of what advisory time will be spent with the teachers and smaller groups is helping students figure out how to navigate all of this. They're going to be checking in with the students. They're going to be making sure they understand where to go, when to go. And so a lot of that first week of that time will be helping students learn how to navigate this. So we're not just tossing them out to the wolves, and there'll be a lot of support. And that's why we have smaller advisory groups, so they'll get that more one-on-one direct attention. So we will be working very closely to make sure kids understand the expectations and how to navigate the systems and making sure they're connected. So I know you mentioned that, but I want to just...
No, good. We can never mention enough things often enough. I want to reiterate one more time that the drive-through, because I saw a question there, the registration drive-through times are going to be 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday, but please feel free to come in before that. Typically, I'm here till 3 or 4, but that's not a guarantee, but you can come even after 2 o'clock if that's how your work schedule works. But just know that you will be catered to between the hours of 9 to 2. Before and after, you're going to have to deal with me and my schedule and whatever I got going on. So it's not always that fun. Miss Florence is laughing about that. She knows how I am. Okay.
There was a few questions that I see in the chat that are relevant for right now too. So
Go for it.
Ramsey, thank you for reiterating that we're going to segue into this, and there will be this grace period to help get you guys on board for the 12th, 13th, and 14th, that first week. So the drive-through for registration on the 10th and 11th, we're going to be sending times out on that, okay? The window is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., but again, we'll want to do it by, alpha and have a little more organization. So please be on the lookout for that. And as well as the first day of school, August 12th, 13th, and 14th, we're fashioning that out to send out to you all, but we just wanted to show you the resources so that you know how to find them, so that we show you where to go on the website. But that's all coming. It will, they'll have a chance. We're going to segue them into this on the 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to touch on. That's not really relevant right now, but it will be eventually. And that's that we will do everything we can to get you the academic and tutoring support you need. Miss Florience and Miss Lopez. Well, actually, yeah, I guess Miss Lopez will be helping with that too. But Miss Florience is the go-to for academic support. And I got to tell you, in the spring, we saw some pretty cool things. Students virtually tutoring students. Teachers virtually tutoring students. It's a difficult endeavor to tutor somebody, much less do it virtually, but we made it happen, and we're feeling pretty good about this year also. I also want to tell any of you parents and students that are struggling with Parent View or Student View, again, poor Miss Flo, she is the go-to for that, but I think that, I think there might be some other people that can help too, but just reach out to us and we'll get you a new password, or we'll reset your Parent View or whatever. We'll do whatever we can to help you. So just reach out to Miss Flo first, and then we'll go from there. Then I want to touch base again with the socio-emotional learning part of that. And guys, that's vital. We have a group of kids right now that many have been isolated since March 10th, okay? I think about my own grandchildren. They have seen their grandma and grandpa, they have seen their aunt and uncle, and they have seen their parents. That's it since March 10th. They haven't seen anything else. They haven't gone to a store. They haven't done anything. And many of our students that's happened. So we want to make sure that we take care of that socio-emotional piece and really work to get them integrated with their classmates, doing some fun stuff. I think our Survive and Thrive, some of our clubs, student government, they're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff. Look for that in the schedule to come out sometime this week, and that'll be cool. And we're excited about that. And then tech support, that's Miss Estelle. If we're having any problems with the Chromebooks that they check out, or just, you know what, Sue, tell me what kind of help you might have to deal with a parent or student.
Well, probably the first one that's going to erupt is students who can't log in because they either can't remember their password or they neglected to change it when they were told to do so. And I can help you with that. So My email address is Estelle, Estell at aps.edu. I'll put that down in the chat also. I actually don't mind if people call me as well, or text me would be better. Sometimes I don't answer if the phone number is unknown to me, but if you text me first and identify yourself as a student or a parent, then I'll know to expect your phone call, and that would work better. But I can reset your password remotely. So that's going to be the number one thing. You take your Chromebook home and you can't log into it because you can't remember your password. That's an issue. So you're gonna contact me one way or the other. I can help with that. If you are having issues with your Chromebook, I'm going to be the person you're going to call or email, and we'll talk about what's going on. If I can help you fix it remotely, great. If not, we'll swap it out. Or I may refer you to the help desk if it's something that I think they can help you with. So that's another feature. The other thing is that I'm the webmaster. So parents, if you're having problems finding things on the website, or you have suggestions on how things might be better organized, please let me know. I think
Very cool.
I think
Perfect.
that
Thank
pretty
you.
much does it. Anything else you can think of?
Okay. Hey, Miss Ramsey, if you could, can you take a minute to discuss how you want to handle scheduling and classes, just in case kids aren't in the right place?
Well, so I've been getting a lot of those emails already. I put my email in the chat, and you can also link to the website that Ms. Estelle showed us earlier. Just email me any changes or questions in regards to scheduling that needs to be fixed, and I'm getting to them as fast as I can. So hopefully within a few hours we can get that resolved. So I saw a question about the CEC schedules not showing. I wasn't aware of that. Ms. Flo, maybe you can speak to that a little bit, but they're there. The CEC classes are there. I'm just not sure why students aren't seeing them in student view. But if you need a shift or a change, just email me and I'll take care of that. After school starts on August 12th, if a student wants to make a change in a schedule, specifically if they want to drop a CEC class, there's a form, and I can send that form out to parents as they request it as well. But we want to make sure we have a paper trail for those kinds of drops.
Okay, that's great to know.
Some good questions I saw, boss. If they had a hole in their schedule, hey, my kid has first period and then they don't have anything till fifth period.
In ECA, that shouldn't be happening. Didn't we go through and fix every schedule?
Upperclassmen, that might be the with, and my thought is that they would be working on their classes during that off time, just as they were if they were on our school building, right?
Right. So there's a good chance that many students, especially our seniors, I mean, there were some seniors we never even saw because they were taking UNM or CNM classes. So if your kids have a hole in their schedule, chances are it was because they were signed up to take a UNM or a CNM class that might be virtual now. So that would be an opportunity for them to do asynchronous learning, go get their assignments, and spend that time during the day studying and working hard so that they can spend the evening mopping the kitchen floor, washing the dishes, cooking dinner. Because I know you guys all have students that do that. So that works. Were there other questions too?
There was, when we were talking about asynchronous and synchronous, it's going to be a work in progress. I see more of the asynchronous for CEC classes, maybe as needed, but we're all just a work in progress. So if something isn't working, we're going to pivot and we're going to rectify that. So a lot of it is, kind of like, it's trial and error.
Thank you. And I will tell you, it is going to be a trial and error because some teachers may may have an inclination to lecture too much. Okay. And some teachers, are you done? Okay. Thank you. Some teachers are going to have an inclination to sit and get, and we don't want that to happen. We want them to have interesting and exciting lessons and assignments, and we want them to have kids work with each other, and which brings up a whole nother level of concern with copying and plagiarism and kids working in groups where one kid does all the work and 3 kids get all the credit. Those are things we're going to work out, and we'll have conversations with parents when that kind of stuff happens. We had it happen. Our whole summer was filled with nurses on our campus working towards their LPNs, and so, you know, we had to practice safe social distancing and do some amazing learning. But, you know, there are opportunities where kids might say, oh, we're working together and we'll just copy each other's work. A lot of that won't work in our classes. We'll have those conversations for another time.
I had a really great question about school supplies. What type of
Okay.
school supplies?
Great. Okay. So one of the interesting things here, I mean, I was an elementary school teacher, so I always made sure my parents had that, you know, list of 8,000 items that they had to have ready for their kids. And so at ECA, that's never been a problem. I mean, teachers will do a lot of the supplying of materials, but really it's about having some paper and some pencils and pens. And we're actually going to supply a little bit of that for our students this year. So that's not a real big issue, but I think it's one of those ones we can kind of play a little bit by ear. I don't know if I answered the question, but.
And I think teachers will go over that. That's going to be part of their beginning of the class instruction. They'll kind of go through specifics individually. So I think teachers will cover that.
I am morbidly offended by the Christensons because they're eating food and I haven't eaten all day. So thank you for nothing. No, that's cool. That's awesome. All right. What else were there any other questions we need to answer? Because we can take some questions if we want. We have about 10 minutes before we have to shut this down to go to CT. So it looks like Joanne has a question. But you have to unmute. Oh, there you go. Now you can ask your question.
Okay, I was just getting ready to ask a question as I noticed on my kid's schedule about the phys ed for ninth grade. So I'm confused about how that's gonna work.
Okay, so the teacher will reach out to the students with some curriculum, but they're gonna do some stuff. Okay, so we saw in the summer school did a PE online course, and it was semi-interesting. So we'll do a lot of that. One of the beautiful things about our teacher, Miss Rowe, is that PE wasn't about learning how to play dodgeball. Okay,
Right.
PE was teaching them some life skills.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think she's going to continue with that, and we're pretty excited about it. So there will be some curriculum the students are going to have to learn, along with some opportunities to go out and be healthy and do some stuff maybe out in the front yard or in the garage or something. But I'm not really sure exactly how she's going to run that class, but I know it will be good. And it will correspond with health at the same time. So it should be an interesting time for the kids.
Okay, and then I had another question, and it was about the governor talked about school starting maybe after Labor Day, which is after September. Is that when you're going to have another town hall meeting to address in-person schooling?
So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Right now, we're going to be in school from August 12th until September 4th, virtually. Now, on September 8th, we're going to begin to slowly introduce students back into the classroom, but they're going to start with elementary school. And we're going to see how it goes. And then they're going to go to middle school, and they're going to go to high school.
Okay.
So my best guess, and I feel pretty confident in this guess, is it's going to be late September before we actually see students face-to-face.
Okay.
And even then, that face-to-face is going to be on an alternate schedule, A to L one week, M to Z the following week.
Right.
Now, it's possible that at that point in October, we may say, dang, learning is going amazing in ECA, and maybe we just keep it going the way it is. Maybe we say, dang, we need to see these kids. I personally want to see bottoms in the seats. I want to see faces.
Right.
but
Right.
that's not necessarily the answer that's right. So we're going to play by ear and see. But I would count on late September, early October before high schools go to the yellow part, which is a mix of online education and face-to-face education.
Okay.
And I think
Thank
that you
you.
can take that to the bank.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions about registration again. The drive-through registration will be Monday, August 10th and August 11th. We will have a schedule and we will send that out to you. So yes, I imagine we'll do something with Alpha. It'll be in the window of 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We just can't keep up fast enough because it's like we're starting school like we've never done before. So, but yeah, we will be getting that out to you. I know you guys are excited for that. And
Okay,
Ray,
I just saw another question just briefly that I think I want to address right now. And my bad, I actually had it in my notes. So we have had a few students who really were, or parents too, who were uncomfortable with going to a face-to-face even in late September, early October. So the district had developed a plan where, because APS has Academy, they created a K through 8 Academy and then a 9 through 12 Academy. And initially, we were simply going to disenroll any students from ECA or Next Gen or college and career high school or whoever that wanted to do online education. But they gave schools of choice like ECA and those other schools the opportunity to have online education for those kids who were uncomfortable returning. So if you are a student in ECA, you're going to spend the first 2 months virtually. On the day that they allow us to re-enter, or actually before that, we're going to want you to reach out to us and we will send some notification. We're going to want you to reach out to us, and we are going to provide any of those students who do not want to return to a face-to-face for the remainder of the year the opportunity to stay in ECA but do their learning online. Now, everybody has a different reason for doing that. It could be that your student is fine, but that you're taking care of grandma at home, or you have a comorbidity and you don't want to have to worry about it. It doesn't matter the reason. The point is, you will have the opportunity to stay in ECA, not be disenrolled, not have to enroll at Academy, not have to worry about any of that. You will stay with our ECA teachers and you will continue that learning. I will tell you right now, though, it is not going to be the same as face-to-face. So you have to be patient with us as we work through that. Because essentially we're asking a teacher to do 3 things. Teach it once we go to yellow. Teach their class face-to-face, teach their class asynchronously, and teach students who are not face-to-face asynchronously. So there's a lot of things going on. We're going to do the best we can. And my teachers are so amazing. I know they're going to do great at it. So I'm not worried about it. But I think I answered that question, correct? Cool.
I just wanted to go back to a couple of students' questions. Rhea, you asked, what is that, the first 3 days going to be? We're going to send that schedule out. It will probably be a rehearsal for those 3 days, okay? And you'll meet with your advisory, okay? So it'll get you acclimated to the schedule. And we're going to give you a lot of grace period there.
Yeah, I do want to emphasize, though, to any students that are listening, you better show up to class, okay? Because I have very little tolerance for students that are not going to attend class, and I have options, okay? So please, show up to class. You're virtual. You have no excuse. I know you've been sleeping till noon, and now you got to get up at 7:30, but we can live with that, okay? But you've got to show up to class, and I want parents to understand that too. They've got to show up.
Another great question was from Sergio. You were asking about when I was talking about the 12th, the 13th, and 14th, and kind of going through a rehearsal with your classes. Your teachers are going to go over that and what learning platform they're going to use. It's going to be very similar to what you guys are used to, either Canvas or Ingenuity, but they'll talk with you about that, or Google Classroom. So that's what those 3 days are going to be about, okay, is talking with you, getting to know each other and making sure you know where to go.
Right. And you know, some of our teachers might introduce a little bit of curriculum to you in those 3 days. Maybe they say, hey, you know, we put a book in your bag, you know, maybe you want to start reading it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to allow my teachers to have any assignments or homework the first 3 days. This is about structure and learning the system that we want to utilize and being familiar with it. And then on Tuesday, August 18th, we're going to hit curriculum and we're going to learn. And we are going to introduce new concepts, and we expect students to just hit the road running and really do well.
And that staff directory that Sue Estelle was showing us, that staff directory, students, that's going to have the links to get to the classes. So that's when we
Right.
work to email you that information, but I know some of you are eager to know how it's all going to work. So I know it's hard to kind of wait, but I really do appreciate your patience, and please know that it's going to be in one location that you guys are going to easily be able to see. So look at your schedules in Student View under class schedule. You will follow that. We'll also have that bell schedule so that you have an idea in your mind. We're going to put agendas in those goodie bags, so be sure to set your alarms and start pulling out those agendas.
We have a question from Patrick Scott.
Yes. What is it?
Patrick?
Yes, sir. Mr. Arguelles,
Hi, Mr. Scott.
how you doing there? All right. How should we handle situations where, you know, you have an unpredicted internet glitch for a day, or I mean, like I remember in the spring, you know, our internet service was down for like 2 days, and we had to switch providers. It was a nightmare. How do you want our, you know, your students to let you know? Sorry, that's our beagle. That this is happening, and how do we get, you know, excused for those kinds of situations? Not trying to put up excuses, but you know, it does happen.
No, it does happen, and that's a good question. So we might have 5 different answers here with some of us are in this theme, but basically it's about communication. And
Okay.
and one of the and you know what? The best part of all is that you guys should all have my phone number. You can text me and tell me that. But start with your advisory teacher, if possible. Do the best you can about getting connectivity. If the city does what they said they were going to do in the state, there should be hotspots all over this city. So a student might be able to simply walk out their front door and have a free hotspot somewhere. They set up hotspots all over. So we have been told that by the start of school on August 12th, nobody that lives in this city should not be able to connect to some type of hotspot near their home or right at their home. So hopefully that'll work. But I get that because my internet, I have old school cables running from the telephone pole in the alley, and they go out a lot. And so I get that. So communicate as quickly as possible when you can get back on the internet, or you know, drive your kid over to Starbucks. That's not necessarily an option unless you want Starbucks, but whatever. And then Rebecca or Lynn, do you have anything, or Sue even, do you have any comments on that? Anybody?
I would just say that if it's looking long-term, to please let us know, because the district does have some options that they can offer to help too. So,
yeah,
you know, just keep us posted about what's going on. If, you know, you start out the year and you're thinking everything is looking great, and then it turns out that the number of students you have in your home and the times of day that they're connecting, that your signal strength just isn't what you think it's going to be, and you need to make a change, let us know. We'll try to work with you and get some other resource available.
Okay.
So just keep us posted.
And I will tell all of you parents that are here that if a teacher gives your student an assignment that's due on Friday and they've had a week to work on it, and on Friday they come to us and say, hey, I don't have any internet connection. Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily want that to be an excuse. figure out a way to get it to us if that's the case. If you got a week to work on it and you suddenly decide Thursday night to work on it and you can't get on the internet, I'm going to really struggle with that, because we're trying to prepare these kids for college and career. And I don't know very many college instructors that will tolerate that. And I definitely don't know any bosses that would tolerate that. Joanne, you're on mute again.
Okay, I saw a question on there that it says, is there going to be an open house on September 10th for parents to meet the teachers?
Great question. We are trying to plan a virtual open house where teachers can go in and meet staff. And we're looking at some models and we're trying to design our own thing, but we will definitely have some type of open house. And it should be pretty cool, but we're just not sure what it's going to look like right now. And we may not even, I think we actually set that date already, didn't we? Yeah, I think we set that date. We're going to shoot for that date. I think we'll meet our goal and we'll be ready.
Okay, so does that mean that we're going to get emails in reference to that, whether it's going to be in person or virtual?
Yeah. What was the date on that? I thought it was in September.
It
We
said
have it-
September 10th.
Yeah, and when your student comes for registration, we hope we'll have agendas for them, and inside that agenda will be a calendar. Of course, all that is subject to change based on things that are happening, but of course we'll communicate if we do it virtually, any links that you might have to or need to log into those classes or to meet those teachers. But those dates are set in the calendar, and that will be in the student agendas that they should be getting next week. So
Okay,
Yeah.
now that you're talking about dates, I know we would get a calendar from the middle school that showed when the kids were having their like holidays. How is that going to work for, like, is it going to be the normal school holidays or?
as far
Joanne,
as
you didn't
we're-
get the you didn't get the memo. We canceled all holidays.
Oh,
Right.
I'm happy
They-
about that.
They've had a summer of holidays. They have no more holidays.
Mr. Arguelles, we're
I'm
going to have to
sorry.
shut this down in about a minute and a half, and there's one more question I think you need
Okay.
to answer.
Okay,
And that's,
go ahead.
in the survey, you asked for student email and phone numbers. Are you going to start communicating with kids through email or text or text?
Yes, good question. So last year we did a trial run with that and it worked out really well. So we would like to continue it on this year. We're going to probably use a program called Living Tree, and we'll collect student cell phones, parent cell phones, anybody that wants to communicate by text or by email, students especially by email. We're going to have that data and we're going to communicate that way. Text has been a great way for many of us to communicate during this thing. I try to limit how many really bad text messages I send out. So that's where we're going to go. And Ms. Estelle, thank you. We do have to get off of this because we have to start our CEC Zoom meeting. If any of you guys really have nothing better to do, especially the Christensons who are eating, so I don't even know what they're making, but it looks really good. I like how the dad's cooking and the mom's washing dishes. That doesn't fly in my house. I have 3 daughters. Okay, Sue, you can click us off.
Okay, that was my
Oh, there's the
alarm.
bell.
All right, bye,
Thanks, guys.
everybody.
Pat, the other meeting is in the same link, isn't it?
No,
It's the other one. Okay.
it's a different link.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.